Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool Coca-Cola telephone. This is the animated polar bear telephone, and this is Marjorie's telephone from Michigan. And she's got a note here that basically says, it just talks about the telephone, but it seems to have animation, but when you call the telephone or when you pick up the receiver, you just get a funny noise. And I'm going to see if I can get that to do that right now. Can you hear that? You might be able to hear that, you might not. I'll try it one more time. Just makes a real funny electrical noise and kind of a pulsating electrical noise. And I'm going to try to dial, and I'm not getting any kind of a dial out of it, and I don't get any tone, and I don't get any transmit. So let's do this. The animation's on. Very cool, but we don't get anything. No dial tone. So basically we're going to have to go into this telephone and troubleshoot it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of it apart here real quick. I want to go ahead and unplug everything. I want to remove the batteries here real quick. And so this is the first time I've been into the telephone. We're going to take the back or the bottom cover off. They've got a lot of screws in these animated telephones because they're pretty large phones. So they got quite a few screws here. So let's just try to remove these real quick. I want to get a look at this circuit board. The main PC board. If I can get through all these screws. And once we get these out, we'll kind of take a look. Really what it comes down to is we're going to have to troubleshoot this telephone out. Now there's unless it's a generic part, parts for these are very hard to find because most people don't want to give them up, even when they don't work. So you're not going to find too many parts for this telephone. So we're going to hope that it's something generic. It's pretty much a dedicated IC for some of the board. Some of the IC chips in here are would share animation and dialing capabilities and things like that. But I've got to see which one this is, and we can determine all that after we troubleshoot it. Now we get these in from time to time. Every once in a while we'll see one of these telephones, and you get kind of elaborate inside with all the gears. I'm going to try to give you a little look at everything. That kind of gives you a look at everything here. There's the main PC board, and then all of your working gears and flywheels and things. So basically, you know, it kind of gets elaborate. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this main PC board up right now. And I'll give you a look at the other side of it. Got about 4 or 5 screws here we got to deal with. And then sometimes they take these wires and kind of secure them down a little bit. Let's see what happens here. We may have to remove. Might not be that simple to get a look at this board. Probably going to want to take this demo button out. We may have to remove the modular port also, if that'll come out. Sometimes they glue them in a little bit, so it might not just come out real easily. Let's see if we can't get it up here. And it looks like they've secured it in here so that it wouldn't fall out. Might be able to break it free here though. It's not going to be a simple process on that. We may have to work on this a little. We don't want to tear any of this up because you're not going to get any parts to this really. Not simply anyway. We'll try to go about this a different route. Maybe we can swing it around here. This kind of shows you a little bit of the board anyway. I kind of wanted to just give you a peek at it. Let me hit the lights here real quick. This will give you a peek at it. This area right here is for the animation. So we're just going to have to go through this board and troubleshoot everything. And it looks like here is our dialing down here. And we'll just have to go through it and see what we can find. I wish I could give you a better look at it, but I might be able to just go ahead and take the speaker out. I really don't like taking them totally apart, but you got to be able to get to them to troubleshoot them. I just didn't want the speaker all flopping around. And plus they glue these speakers in a little bit. So the speaker may not just come right out. Might have to pry on that a little bit. Okay, this one's okay. But they do put a little glue around here. And sometimes that glue will continue to hold, and other times it just comes out real easy. So now we're getting a better look at the telephone here, and this will give you somewhat of a look at the PC board. And as I said earlier, this is going to be in your dialing circuitry. This is going to be your animation. But you know, they share circuits sometimes, so it's just one of these things where we're going to have to go through, troubleshoot it, see what we can find, and try to repair the telephone by troubleshooting it and finding out what we can get and what we can't get for this telephone. We may have to search for some parts. It's just one of those things, you know, it's a specialty type telephone, and you won't find many parts for these telephones. And nobody really wants to take an old telephone or take a telephone that's working and part out the parts And if and I've come across a lot of times, even when they don't work, people just don't want to. They just don't want to get rid of them because they're like a collector. A lot of people like collecting this stuff. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. This is the Coca-Cola Polar Bear telephone, animated, and this is Marjorie's telephone from Michigan. And it's a really cool telephone, but this is the initial checkout of this telephone, and we'll try to do some more videos on this telephone once we get a little further along with it, and we'll try to keep you updated. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.